Cinema Worms.
Discussing everything from Grima Wormtongue to the Shy Halib.
We're going to be discussing Masters of the Universe. Finally, I think it came out weeks ago, and we got a chance to see it.
I'm finishing my doctorate, and I just don't have time for anything.
I was lazy.
You know how I'm finishing my doctorate?
Yeah.
By the power of Grayskull!
Oh.
Grayskull has not helped me one bit. I wish Grayskull would help me, but then maybe I'm not the inheritor of the throne. That's my fault. That's my bad.
To do it the hard way.
I know, just like a pleb. Anyway, so Masters of the Universe, which is what we're going to be talking about first. This is kind of a superhero little binge that we went on with the different things. It's also known as He-Man in the Masters of the Universe in some territories, for obvious reasons. Based on the Mattel toy, which, you know, again, we scrape IP, we scrape it right off the bottom of the barrel. This one's kind of fun, though. Not so mad about it. This is a sword and sorcery comedy. If you liked Dungeons & Dragons, and if you like Guardians of the Galaxy, you're probably going to like this. It is the second live-action film adaptation after the 1987 film. We do get a fun cameo, not going to spoil that for you. The film was directed by Travis Knight, who also directed Kubo and the Two Strings in 2016, and also did the live-action Transformer film Bumblebee in 2018. And he's doing something called Wildwood, which is coming out later this year. And it was written by Chris Butler, Aaron Nee, Adam Nee. I assume they are related and also hope that they are part of the Knights of Nee from Monty Python. And David Callahan with Nicholas Galitzine starring as Prince Adam / He-Man. We've got a really fun ensemble cast here. I'll only be mentioning some of them because some of them are completely irrelevant and I don't care at all. We've got Camila Mendes, who is playing Tila, his childhood friend turned hot warrior goddess. His words, not mine. Idris Elba playing Tila's dad, the king's master at arms. Jared Leto playing Skeletor. I'm mad about this because Jared Leto sucks, but Skeletor's hot and ripped and gives like big Jafar energy from Aladdin, and I'm really here for that. I was mad about it. So essentially the first 10 minutes of the film are Skeletor and a bunch of, let's just call them what they are, Star Wars reject puppets and people, taking over Eternia, attacking the castle. Prince Adam, who's a child, is forced to jump through a portal made by Glinda the Good Witch. I mean, cough cough, the sorceress, played by Morena Baccarin. And Adam is sent to Earth to become just an ordinary guy stuck in a dead-end office job. Genuine pain, Adam. Genuine suffering. We all feel it, even if Sashir Zamata is your hot boss. Even that doesn't take away the pain of working in HR. But of course, during the course of this film, he will have to return to Eternia, take up his destiny as He-Man, figure out what the hell the power of Grayskull is and how to channel it, and save his home from the evil forces of Hot Skeletor. So what are your thoughts about He-Man?
So since I obviously delayed seeing it because I saw no urgency, I was like, that looks like some silly fun.
You mean you're not a childhood fanatic of He-Man? The Mattel toy He-Man?
I wasn't. Yeah, it was like a slightly before my time. But I have to say, I loved this movie.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. Mm-hmm. It was superhero perfection, but like in a particular way that, I mean, not being like as familiar and growing up watching the cartoons or the cult classic film.
Yes, you haven't seen She-Ra.
No, I have not. Mm-hmm.
Which is
She-Ra
good.
Either.
It's good, by the way.
But this was just so much fun, and in a way, it's just pure joy. Mm. Honestly, okay, so when I was looking it up right before this, it, you know, had a big budget naturally, and it didn't make back its budget. I mean, it did, like, I think it opened well, but then it, you know, kind of got mixed reviews or whatever, like usually like these things. And it didn't make as much money as they wanted. Mm. I don't get it. It is so much fun. Mm-hmm. It's, if you're looking at these like big budget films, I think this is of a quality for this kind of fun thing that it just nails it. And it somehow is slightly original in its vibe and tone because it's playing such homage to the originals. It has this it feels like you're being in a comic, like being thrown into a comic
Yeah,
book.
it does. It's very bright, very colorful. You said that going in. You said, I've heard this is bright and colorful. I was still not prepared for how bright and colorful it was. I wonder, because I agree, I wonder if the problem's been the marketing. Because this is, okay, based on a toy, right? But He-Man is quite sort of well known, especially in like the kind of comic book world. I wonder if people are maybe, because I felt like not super clear from the trailers that we'd seen, was this supposed to be like a Guardians of the Galaxy thing that the whole family could kind of enjoy, but you know, if you are like older than 15, you are still gonna go watch this and have a good time? Or did it seem a bit too kiddie?
I thought that
You know,
for a second in the beginning, but then
no,
like
just the trailer. Did the trailer
the
make
trailer,
did the
yeah,
trailer
because I was
just
like, once people started getting killed,
I mean,
murdered.
too, but like, did the trailer make it look too kiddie so that the usual crowd kind of maybe dismissed it as like being, oh no, it's not quite this, but it certainly was.
I
Up
don't
there with
know.
those
Like
things.
I don't know if it was kiddie or just seemed like kind of like, oh, this is like superhero computer generated slop or whatever. But
then
I think
things
maybe
seem like
that's hard to capture the
yeah,
vibe of the original, which is it has a certain like classic corniness that's actually it's kind of like it works.
but think about something like Dungeons and Dragons, like. Quite a range of people saw that, and it's the same kind of thing in a way. Like, there is magic, there is some sort of supernatural thing going on, there are like, you know, warriors and stuff, there's that kind of cringy humor that we enjoy going on, there's badass stuff happening. It's not a million miles removed from that, it's pretty close. I'm just wondering what the difference is, and I'm wondering if it must have been the marketing, because yeah, I mean, Nicholas Galitzine, he's been in a bunch of stuff, he's been really good. It's an ensemble cast, it's people you recognize. It's a little odd that this hasn't done that well. Maybe it'll do better in streaming.
Yeah,
I
and
hope so, because it's a good film. It deserves to be watched.
I agree. Like, and he's great. What did you think of him?
Hang on.
Sorry.
Wait, is it because it came out at the same sort of time as Toy Story 5? That could have also been a problem.
Is Toy Story 5 out?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, but this came out weeks ago.
Yeah, so did Toy Story 5, that I still haven't seen. I'm wondering if that was kind of a problem, because if you're going to take your kids to see one of them, you might want to go with what you see as the safer bet. Maybe something for that. But no, anyway, yeah, Galatzine, he's great. Everyone in this film seems like they're having a really fun time doing what they're doing. A little shout out to Alison Brie playing Evil Lynn. And I pronounce it like that because there is a hyphen. I will spell this for you. EVIL-LYN.
I mean, that just tells you everything.
Not Evelyn, but Evil Lynn. So her name's actually Lynn in a way. I just find that very nice. She's clearly been like, yeah, I don't care how you want me to play this. I'm going high camp. And they just let her roll with it. She's pretty funny. She's having a good time.
So funny. She was great. And I was very inspired by her workout regimen for the film.
Yes, you
which
have been,
apparently
yeah.
she just like lifts weights all the time. And yeah, she's strong. Yeah, Nicholas Galitzine, we've seen him in a bunch of random things. He's really funny.
I remember you were watching the Idea Review recently.
Oh my god, I'm such a corny mofo. Like, I was rewatching
It's a good film. I like that.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good.
I love it.
And wasn't he? It was great in Bottoms as well. You
So
know?
funny.
It feels like he's not the same character every time, which I really like. You know, he can do sort of a range, which is nice. I haven't seen a film that I haven't enjoyed him in.
Yeah, he's like really, I think he's really sweet in a way here, and also convincingly badass when he needs to be.
Yes.
So it's kind of hard to capture that naivete and idealism, but he's also, there's like some bit of depth, right?
Yeah.
You know, he balances it all really well. And to go from being this like nerd who then becomes like a freaking He-Man, it works.
And that's kind of like the main crux of the film. So we're not spoilering here, but exactly what you said. Like he needs to be sort of naive and hopeful and kind of almost quite young in a way in order to do this, but at the same time he is brutally punching guys off a cliff and stuff.
Bang!
Yeah,
That's
bam!
like, it's like bang, and it's so cool.
Yeah. We're gonna slow that down, so we're just seeing you being like bam. I feel like the core message of it was really good, that it was like, you don't, even though, you know, the power of Grayskull transforms you into this enormous Schwarzenegger guy with rippling muscles and 18 abs, it doesn't need to be you, like that side, that muscle side. You don't need to just be brawn. You can be more. You can be heart as well. You can be something more than that, and not every problem can be solved by punching your way through it, although a lot of them can, which is fair.
Yes.
As in life also, I'm sure. Yeah, you know, when you run into a wall, just punch it, you guys. Just probably punch that wall.
Yeah, I think it was great. I like the way they filmed the action, and it wasn't messy. It was like you could see what was going on, and it had a punchy sharpness to it. Like it's just like boom, bang, bang, zoom.
They didn't have
pow, pow.
1,000 different cuts for
No.
a punch, which was nice because sometimes it starts feeling like shaky cam.
No, it wasn't.
A lot of stuff going on, and you don't really know who's hitting who. You were very clear. Yeah, it was just a bunch of fun.
And so funny.
Yeah, and it was pretty funny as well. Like, I feel we were in quite an empty like cinema. There weren't that many people there. I'm wondering if we had seen it earlier and it was like a very packed house, the atmosphere might have been slightly different. But I could hear us both loudly laughing over the film and over the sounds of other people. We found it very funny. If you're in that cinema with us, sorry we laughed, sorry you're joyless. Yeah, it was I would watch it again, and
Me
I don't
too.
say that a lot, but that was pretty fun. Like,
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, if it crops up, then we definitely rewatch it.
Let's do it. Definitely check it out, or let us know what your thoughts were. So this episode, we were discussing Masters of the Universe, and we're also discussing Supergirl.
Oh,
She flies. Okay. Spoiler. Supergirl is, well, apparently the second film in this DC Comics, DCU second wave or reboot or whatever.
DC Universe.
Yeah, and it follows Supergirl, or Kara Zor-El. Sorry.
Why don't you just make your phone bigger, man?
Shh. It's directed by Craig Gillespie and written by Anna Nogura. And it stars Millie Alcock. You may know her from...
I also think you mean Craig Gillespie.
Craig Gillespie.
Gillespie!
Millie Alcock showed her for a second in the Superman movie. And now she has her own, she's in the starring role of this film, and she's facing off against the villain, Creme, played by Mathis. Oh my God, another name.
Creme de la creme.
Shown Arts. The film also stars Eve Ridley, David Krumholtz, Emily Beecham, David Cornsweet for like a second cameo and guest Superman, and Jason Momoa, which we'll get into. Now, this film cost, we were talking about Masters of the Universe, like budget versus box office. This one had a worse ratio, although it may end up being kind of even in the end because this has been out for less time. 170, 180 million, now has made about 89 million. So it opened to like 36 million, which was a disappointment. So in this film, we're following Supergirl. She's bouncing around between planets in a drunken haze. She's sad. She's disaffected. She's
relatable.
As jaded as Superman is idealistic. And she encounters this like young girl whose whole family has been murdered by this evil, sort of super-powered villain, Creme.
Creme of the crop.
He's the creme of the villains, for sure.
I will be making a lot of creme jokes.
Oh, no. Okay, so the girl she encounters, Ruthie, is like, I need to get vengeance against this guy. But she's also like 12 or 13. She's like, Supergirl, you can help me. She doesn't like quite know she's Supergirl. And Supergirl's like, come on, I got stuff going on, like drinking, okay? I can't deal with you.
It's a full-time job.
But then she gets in the crosshairs of Creme, and he shoots her dog, Super Dog, or whatever his name is, Crypto. And luckily he does not get shot with an actual bullet. Some plot convenience there. It's with this sort of poisoned thing. And she has 3 days to save him. So she actually does have to hunt down Creme and his brigands and accidentally sort of help this girl, and then, kind of go from being more jaded to maybe caring about someone. And then you also have this Lobo guy who's this immortal, who's what is he? What do you call him? Bounty hunter. And he's played by Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa.
Quite epically.
Playing sort of himself. in a way.
But to the peak degree. I think this was like my favorite role of his. Yeah, so that's what the film is about. I think we came out with different thoughts on it.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, I have to say, it does suffer after seeing Masters of the Universe, because I quite enjoyed Supergirl. But then Masters of the Universe, it's like different, so it's really unfair to compare them, but I did enjoy it more. But Supergirl I thought was fun, and I don't think it deserves the hate it's getting. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think that it deserves hate. I do think that it deserves some criticism for not being as good as it could be. That applies to most films, so it's not necessarily special in that regard. Like with Masters of the Universe, so again, it made me think of, okay, everything superhero has this kind of, apart from Superman, which I actually did not like, the first one in this series. Remember, you really liked it. I did not like it at all. This was a better for me, much better, because I prefer a jaded protagonist in a lot of ways. But I do kind of, there is some sort of standard that's been set by Guardians of the Galaxy, and I don't always mean that in a positive way. So there is kind of this, you have this mix of badass characters doing cool stuff and fighting, and then you have awkward, cringy characters who are awkward and cringy in jokes, and sometimes those things kind of land and sometimes they kind of don't. And with Masters of the Universe, most of them landed, and in Supergirl, like, not many of them landed. There were places where, I mean, as a writer, you're watching this, and it's really hard not to edit in real time and be like, oh man, if you had just left that, like, for another beat, or if you had had that line, like, after, it just would have been a lot funnier. It's kind of bothering me slightly. So it's not a bad film. And it's sort of interesting, like, the premise is good and solid. Millie Alcock's doing her best. That kid's doing her best as well. I feel like there's something at the heart of it that doesn't make a lot of sense, probably because of who they're marketing this to, the target audience, right? They probably want kids to go see this. They want little girls to go see this, right? They want this to be their kind of, hey, we want to get you into superheroes, right? But when somebody kills your entire family and you want to kill Mr. Double Cream, Mr. Pouring Cream, then I feel like you should be allowed to do that. And it's not terribly fair for someone to spend, like, a whole ass film being like, no, it'll haunt you. What, like, the ghosts of my dead family haunt me? Because they're still happening. I feel like I'd feel a whole lot better if I knew that I could avenge them in some way. And that's also not someone else's call to make. That should have been hers, the kid. Anyway, I don't want to spoil it, but I find that really irritating. Just her being... It's fine to be sort of useless and to be a drunk idiot superhero. That's funny. That's great. We like that. It's flawed. We are able to relate to her. But the problem comes when you start telling other people what to do when you are yourself a train wreck mess.
So we didn't like that feature of her. Okay. Yeah, it's tricky.
A lot of it was the dialogue, and they kept not... I feel like there were fights, but whenever somebody had a chance to do something that would have conveniently, ended the film, then they didn't do the thing. It was a lot of acts of convenience or plot contrivance that are so obvious. You need to put a blanket over those guys. You can't just let it stand out, like, on its own. It's too obvious.
Yeah, definitely. There are a few conveniences that, it just sort of, it's almost like it's just serviceable moment in the plot to get things going.
I did think the word adequate when we came out. I think I actually said the word serviceable too, and was like, it was serviceable. I didn't expect more from it. When you compare this to, I don't know, obviously we've seen quite a lot of films since then. I know that you really liked Superman when we saw it last year. When you compare those two films, what's your kind of take on that? Well, obviously they're very different.
Let me just say, you didn't ask, but Masters of the Universe is wow, just great, just so good. Okay, I'm ranking it up there, even though it's nothing like the Spider-Man films, both the animated ones,
Across the Spider-Verse,
and then the ones with Zendaya. Those are all great.
I like it, not Tom Holland, who plays the titular character, but Zendaya.
But yeah,
to be fair, she's a huge part.
Yes, exactly. Those are up there, and then the Superman film was like really fun, and this I would say is, I don't know, fairly equally as fun, although it doesn't have the benefit of having this like epic scope in the same way as Superman. It's weirdly narrow and dark,
That's actually a good point. I never thought about it, but yeah, it is kind of narrow.
Which you could say is focused, but it can also seem kind of narrow, and like it's this like weird bleak Star Wars thing going on.
Yeah, they go to essentially just a bunch of cantinas,
Yeah, exactly.
which sometimes are playing Earth music. You're in space. What are you doing?
It's a vibe.
Is it though? Okay.
You know, I thought it was a lot of fun, and I think they handle her being super overpowered very well. Because they just have her in various ways not have access to her powers.
Yeah. And I like that because your characters should have limitations and restrictions placed on them. They can't be so overpowered that nothing's ever a problem for them.
Yeah.
You know, that you can't just sort of Mary Sue your way into, oh, they can do everything all the time. Actually, when they can't do much of anything at all, that's really when the conflict starts to get interesting.
Yeah. You know, I would say this film is surprisingly dark at times, you know, with murders, unexpected murders happening, or I'm like, oh, they went there. And I don't know, it has like this gritty vibe, which I enjoyed, and I thought it was really funny. And I liked it when she was like, she got her powers back and she could kick ass. It just was cool. And the musical choices were interesting. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. I just thought this was, it's not bad. That's not fair. I thought it was fun.
There is a battle towards the end where there's a slowed down version of a quite famous song playing over it, and it was a terrible choice. And we actually recently heard in another film someone doing a pop punk version of it, and I was like, oh, I wish they'd done that. It was it was the worst time to use a slowed down version. It's a battle, but you want to have a fun.
It was a little absurd.
Yeah, you want to have like a fun.
Absurd, yeah.
If they'd done that could have been very TikTokable. If you'd done like a fun upbeat version of that song, like a little bit edgier, but yeah, it could have been fun.
So we don't hate it, and maybe I enjoyed it more than you.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I would still see it. It's not fair. She's a girl
And she's a super.
hero, so she's Supergirl, and it was great. Let us know your thoughts.